Everyone raise your arms.
Srila Maharaja ki.
First of all, my obeisances to my spiritual master, Nitya Pravishtam Vishnu Pada Stotarashat, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Srila Bhakti Vedanta, Srila Vamana Goswami Maharaj, and also to my Shikshan Sannyas Guru, Nitya Pravishtam Vishnu Pada Stotarashat, Srimad Bhakti Vedanta, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, to his lotus feet, their lotus feet which remove all the fear. I offer my obeisances again and again, and also after that, my obeisances to Nitya Pravishtam Vishnu Pada Stotarashat, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, to also Ramachandra Prabhu, which is here in the dais, to also all the Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, to the mothers, the devotees of Mahaprabhu, to all of those eager to hear Hari Katha, to the very affectionate mothers, to the feet of everyone. Please accept my Dandavat Pranams accordingly. Today, third day of Srimad Bhagavad Katha. We're going to hear about the third day of Srimad Bhagavad Katha. So according to the Sankalpa, according to our intention, we are only describing about Venu-gita, which is 21st chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. For 3 days we took the vow to do that, so we'll finish today. This is the third day. Time is very short. That's why I have to describe everything very quickly. This katha is not from this world. This katha is from where? It's from the spiritual world, from Goloka Vrindavan. People of this world wouldn't understand. This is true, this is true. Like Prabhuji said, our senses, they are material senses. Material senses, they are always going to material things. That's natural. Until we don't manifest the tendency of our soul in our senses, we won't be able to actually grasp all this reality. So this verse says, Utistata Jagrata Prapta Varan Nibadat. Wake up, wake up. This is true, this is true. To attain something so rare, like this prema, we have to do hard, very strong, bhajan and sadhan. We have to endeavor very strongly with the association of the sadhu, then be able to attain. There's no doubt about it, no doubt. We must do sadhan. Like for example, now Prabhuji was saying, Shrada Sadhusanga Bhajana Kriya Nartanivriti Nishta Ruchi Ashakti. This is called sadhana bhakti. This is called sadhana bhakti. So we need to do sadhana with our senses. God gave us 11 senses, and we have to perform sadhana with our senses, like hearing, chanting. Slowly, our heart will be pure. And with this pure heart, on the basis of Sandhini, Samvit and Hladini will manifest. And then at that time, we'll be able to attain the stage of Bhav. Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Penemus Rujam Susamya Bhak Ruchi Vishinamasrina Kridaso Bhava Uchati. Until this bhava is not in our heart, then we should continue doing sadhana. Then when our sadhana becomes mature, just like a flower, it will blossom. This bhava is gonna blossom like a flower, and then becomes prem. And then with prem, you can understand what is the divine transcendental thing. So now we're hearing Harikatha. Is actually part of our sadhana. So the more Harikatha we're hearing now, they're actually counted as sadhana. From top to bottom, all the Harikathas we're hearing now is sadhana. So the glories of Sadhusanga. Actually, Kapila Dev himself told his mother, Devahuti, in the end, the essence of his instruction, he said, Satam prasangat mama virja samvido. We should every day recite this verse, Satam Prasanga. Then one day or another we'll be able to understand the deep meanings of this verse. Kapiladev Bhagavan, God himself, told his mother Devahuti, he said, Mom, sit in front of the saints. Not in front of the non-devotees, but in front of the saints. Sit in front of him, of them. And these sadhus that have no envy, these sadhus that don't have no any kind of envy in their hearts. Nirmatsar sadhu means that sadhu that in their hearts they don't have any kind of attachments, hatred, envy, material sentiments, not any kind of this. They only have this eagerness to attain Bhagavan, God. So sit in front of this kind of a saint. This is called Bhagavat Prapti Lalasa. Those who only have desire to attain Bhagavan, nothing else. And so Harida Lalasa means this devotee, this sadhu who only has so much love and affection with the devotees and the associates of Lord. And third kind of desire he has is actually the desire to serve Bhagavan and to actually accept only what is favorable. If you accept only what's favorable, whatever is unfavorable, you also give up automatically. You should sit in association of the sadhu and hear Harikatha. So yesterday, I told you the story of Gopakumara. Gopakumara told his own life history to his disciple. the Brahmin of Mathura, Janasarma. Even though he had told everything, his disciple hadn't yet attained self-realization. But in the end, Gopkumara put his hand on the head of his disciple, giving mercy. By receiving the touch of the hand of the saint, maybe one day or another we can get the mercy. Like Lord Shiva, for example. He gave the blessing in the hands of the Bhasmasur, the demon, and said, oh, whoever you touch with your hand, that person will become ashes. But the hands of the Guru is not like that. It's Varadahasta, means the blessing hands. The pure saints. Their hand has power. Yes, it does. There was a disciple of Ramanujacharya. His name was Dhanurdhar. He was a very, before he used to be a criminal, alcoholic, completely lusty man. And he was very also big and tall. He was huge. He used to walk like this, and he used to carry in one hand a bottle of alcohol, and on the other hand, he used to hold the hand of his girlfriend. If somebody would say anything, he would just beat the person up. One day, he came to the temple of Ramanujacharya, and then the temple was closed at the time. The altar was closed. And then he sat in front of the altar, but with the back leaning on the altar. But then it was already time to open the curtains of the deity. You know, the temple opens according to the proper time, right? 4:30 or 5 p.m. And Dhanurdhar was just leaning his back on the altar, you know, and looking at the face of his girlfriend and laughing, and nobody could say anything against him. Nobody could question him. And then somebody came and told Ramanujacharya, Gurudeva, this is going on. Ramanujacharya came and said, look, now that the time of the altar is, time of altar to be open, can you a little bit lean your, change your body position? And then Ramanujacharya said, oh, this is only a stone. Sit here. You see, my girlfriend is so pretty. She's gorgeous, long eyes, her beautiful nose, her forehead. Oh, my girlfriend is so gorgeous. She is beautiful. But you want to open the altar for a stone, you guys are worshipping a stone. Stone worship. Ramanujacharya said, look. Okay, tell me. If this deity, Thakurji, is prettier than your girlfriend, what would you do? And then he said, I'll give you my word. Dhanurdhar said, I'll give her up, and I will completely surrender to your lotus feet. Okay. Look again. So the altar was about to open, slowly, and then Ramanujacharya put his hand on the head of Dhanurdhar. So I gave the example that Shiva gave the blessing in the hand of Bhasmasur, Vrikasur, that whoever he would touch with his hand, that person will become ashes. But in this case here, Ramanujacharya placed his hand. What is the name of the devotee I told? Dhanurdhar. Dhanurdhar. Oh, you don't remember? Ramanujacharya is the great Acharya of the Shri Sampradaya. He's not an ordinary person. He's directly the younger brother of Lord Ram, Lakshman. He's called the avatar of Lakshman. So his name is Rama Anuja Acharya. Ramanuja means the younger brother of Ram. So he placed his hand on the head of the Dhanurdhar. And then Danuda was able to have proper darshan of Thakurji. He fainted, started like screaming in prema and crying out loudly. All expected symptoms like example trembling and horripilation manifested in his body. And then in the end, he caught a hold of the feet of Ramanujacharya and saying, please, please make me your disciple, please. Then Ramanuja Acharya gave him Diksha mantra and told him, no need to give up your girlfriend, you should get married to her according to all the rules. Live near the temple and serve the Thakurji. Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Why I'm saying this? That's not only in Gopakumara Katha, but there are many beautiful stories about the power of the lotus hand of a sadhu. Everything is possible, but when and to whom they want to give the mercy. So we say, Gurudeva, please put your hand on my head. So we put. But when does he really want to give mercy to whom, when, and to whom? Who knows? But it's possible. If he wants, it's possible. Anyway, what I want to say is that this kind of a great devotee, they give mercy. And they give causeless mercy. Ahituki kripa. So tell me, this Dhanurda, did he do anything? He was an alcoholic. He was doing bad things. He would never even follow rules. But Ramanuja Acharya manifested his opulence and gave him this special mercy. So, to whom God and devotee, the sadhus give their mercy, who knows? To whom they are giving their mercy. So, why I'm saying this? We are hearing this katha. We are hearing this transcendental Harikatha. But it's not actually, we're not able to understand because the language of this katha is Samadhi Bhasha, the transcendental trance language. If you do, it's not possible for you to understand everything. So just hear with faith, that's all. So every day, I say, there's one chapter of the Brihad Bhagavatamrita that Sanatana Goswami describes the glories of Sadhu Sangha. No need to do anything, just sit down in front of the sadhu. Sanatana Goswami also, he wrote saying, if a Santa Mahatma saint is giving, like not speaking material things, still sit in front of him. Oh, but what's the benefit of me hearing the sadhu speak mundane things? Oh, no. But even if the sadhu speaks, the pure devotee speaking material things, there's also a potency in that. You're thinking it's material, but it's still divine and transcendental because it's coming from his mouth. The katha that comes from the mouth of the saint, the pure saint, it's called Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound. It's not Shabda Samana, material sound, but it's Shabda Brahma, transcendental sound, and that will come to you. Slowly, all your anarthas will be destroyed. And manifest prem in your heart. There are thousands of examples like this. That prostitute went to Haridas Thakur. What's her name? Lakshahira. So for 3 days, she was sitting there at the door of Haridas Thakur. So the first day, like she didn't say chant holy names. In the second day, a little bit short chanting now and then. And in the third one, she was chanting, and even she completely surrendered herself to Haridas Thakur. So if you meet a saint that has self-realization, you should just sit in front of him and hear with faith, and you will get realization. Tarkat apratisthanath. You cannot establish that by logic or by arguments, just by faith. That's it. So I'm saying about the Vrajadevis. We're hearing about the Mahabhava of the Vrajadevis. Prabhuji Ramachandra Prabhu has beautifully, step by step, spoken about Prem, which comes after Bhav. After Prema, what is the stage coming after? Actually, these stages after Prem, they only manifest in the spiritual world, not here. So it's a katha from the spiritual world. How can we understand, right? We are here. We can hear in this world until Ashakti, we can understand about until Ashakti. But what happens later, like Bhav, and then later Prem. And even after Prem, what takes place after Prem? It's called Anubhav Vidya, means it's something that only when you go through that you'll understand. You cannot understand just by hearing about it or speaking about it, but only when you feel you understand. Example about Johnny Lamani, Bhaktarasamrita Sindhu also. These books are called definition books, like grammars. Paribhasa Grantha means full of definitions of all these stages of bhakti and things like that. And giving example also, like what is Shraddha, what is Neha, Man, Pranaya, Anurag, like all that. What is after Prem? Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag, then Bhav, Mahabhav, then Rud, Adirud, Mohan, Modan, and then Madana ke Mahabhav. How to understand this? These things are not from this world. But still, Srila Goswami Pad, mercifully, he wrote Bhaktarasamrita Sindhu and Ujjwal Nilamani. And in these books, he gave definition to all of these stages with examples. And sometimes you wouldn't find an example from the Bhagavatam, for example. So then he himself, he wrote the verse to give example. He wrote the verse just to give it an example. Beautiful, very beautiful. So if someone who has qualification will hear about it or read these books, like it's not everyone who can understand all this, that's true. But still, by hearing, you get at least Sukriti. At least Sukriti you get. Yes, you'll get at least Sukriti. When Sukriti is mature, then you'll be able to attain the association of the sadhu. Your Sukriti slowly will build up. And then the Sukriti will bring you to a great devotee. And then by hearing Harikatha from a pure devotee, you get samskara, impressions. By many millions of births, Sukriti, you cannot attain it. You cannot attain it even by Sukriti from millions of births. You have to buy with the price of your greed. No need to do anything. No need to offer money here. Oh, Bhagavad Sapta. Maharaj is performing Bhagavad Sapta because he wants to collect money. No, it's not like that. If somebody gives money for service, we can also engage in service, but that's going to be good for the person. He'll accumulate Sukriti. Don't think, oh, they made very nice, beautiful decoration here, very nice decoration in the temple. They also invited the nice Kirtaniya from Mathura Vrindavan. This Prabhuji who sings so well. Darilal Prabhuji. And those who came also with him. Why? We arrange this to attract the living entities. That's it. Harikatha is to attract people. Like all these other things actually to attract people to the Harikatha. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, to attract people, collect people. You can also do that. It's okay. Like example, the politicians. They do and speak so many things just to attract people to, to attract a crowd. This is true. This is true. I'm not coming to the politics, but it's true. True or not? They do so many things just to collect crowds. To, be able to fulfill whatever they want to fulfill. So for bhakti, even if you do some endeavor like that, there's no problem. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote about it. Because our method of bhajan is Goshthanandi Bhajana Pranali. Goshthanandi Bhajana Pranali. Oh. So before, there used to be Bhajana Nandi, means doing the bhajana alone, chanting holy names alone, like the 6 Goswamis would. So sometimes writing books, I was thinking about Bhagavan, absorbed in that. If someone comes, then you speak Harikatha, otherwise no problem. If you meet a devotee who is like-minded, then you speak Harikatha and hear Harikatha. Srila Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada considered that the more Kali Yuga grows, advances, the more the jivas become more engrossed in material life. They don't want to hear Harikatha. So that's why, to attract these jivas materially engrossed, it's necessary to do all these things. I think who will hear my Harikatha or not, I don't know. I have rented a room upstairs, 20-25 people will come and hear my Harikatha. For me, this is enough. But I was in the Western countries. I don't know, but I suddenly felt so much eagerness in my heart, thinking, now in the month of Purushottam, we should have done a Bhagavad Sapta. But I came so far to the Western countries, I was thinking. Then by the desire of Bhagavan, I came to India, so I told them, was there any Bhagavad Sapta in the month of Purushottam in the Delhi temple? I asked Ramani Didi. She said no. Nobody did Bhagavad Sapta in the Delhi temple. Then, so you do. Then I said, but I don't have time for 7 days. I only have 3 days. I only have 3 days. Okay, so Bhagavan inspired me. 3 days, okay, let's do the Venu-gita then. Venu-gita Katha. As much as possible. Who will come to hear my broken language Katha? Anyway, I'll sit in my room and just speak a little bit Harikatha. And Prabhuji, Vishnudat Prabhu, I said, no need. And he said, Gurudev, of course. So the things start growing more and more. Now I see so much opulence, big celebration here, but even I become ashamed. Anyway, according to Bhagavan's desire, Bhagavad Katha. This Harikatha is so high class, so high class. Venu-gita. These gopis who have Mahabhav and they are feeling deep anurag, deep attachment towards Krishna, they are sitting in their own groups and they are manifesting their bhavs, expressing their bhavs. When Krishna goes cow grazing, Krishna has such a beautiful form, and they are describing this form. So in the last 2 days, we've been hearing it. Parahapridamnata Varavapu Karnayo Karnekaram. Beautiful form of Krishna. His form is so beautiful. Who is describing this? Who is describing the form of Krishna? Srimati Radhika herself. Like in this book, Gurudev wrote, Lord Brahma also described the beautiful form of Krishna in this beautiful verse. Nomidate Abravapushet is a verse that Lord Brahma describes the beauty of Krishna. Also in Bhatro, the wives of the Brahmanas of the sacrifice, they also describe Krishna's beauty with the verse Shamahiranya Paridin. So these 3 verses in the Bhagavatam are very famous. They describe the beauty of Krishna, and also this one Barhapidam that the gopis say. So depending on the type of the devotee, they will, according to the prema madhurya of the sweetness of the mood of that devotee. So it depends on the devotee, like how he feels the prema and how he's seeing Krishna. For example, Lord Brahma is in the mood of servitorship. So he's describing Bhagavan with this word Naumidya in this verse of the Bhagavatam. He's in the mood of Dasya. But the wives of the sacrificed Brahmanas, Jagik Patni, they are not ordinary as well. But they have this kind of opulence mood a little bit. They have this, so they say this verse, Shamahirana Paridin. And Shrimati Radhika describes his beautiful form. So we cannot only understand with the verse, but we must read the commentary also. Beautiful description. Anyway, this form, Bhagavan manifests from the spiritual world, manifests this form in this world. Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Deham Asrita. This verse is so important. Anugrahaya Bhaktanam. We must hear this Harikatha. Bhagavan mercifully manifests this divine transcendental form in this world. So, won't you hear this Harikatha? So, what are you going to hear about? Anugrahaya Bhaktanam. Lord performs pastimes like a human being. This beautiful pastime, so beautiful. So the same katha, the gopis, with their bhavanitra means this, their vision, with their moods, eyes, with their moods. Bhavanitra means they're seeing with their bhavas, where the moods, they're watching all that. And they have different groups, the gopis, and they're speaking to their friends. For example, Chandravali and her friends. There are 4 kinds of gopis. Swapaksha, Vipaksha, Tatastha, Suhrida Paksha. The group of Radharani is called Swapaksha. The group of Chandravali is called Vipaksha. Suhrit Paksha is that gopi which has friendly mood. But some are neutral, Tatastha. Tatastha, actually, nobody can be actually neutral. So that gopi which is Suhrit, friend to the Swapaksha group of Shrimati Radhika, she will be neutral to Shrimati. For example, if a friend of Shrimati Radhika comes in the group of Chandravali, she will be completely neutral. But whatever you speaking, let them speak. I'm not going to involve myself with that. So I'm not going to be against, not like parliament, like politics. Understand? But they speak so well. So they manifest the bhava also. I'll tell you. Once, for example, one friend of Chandravali, like Padma or someone, came in the Sakhi Samaj, the assembly of the friends of Radharani. And then sitting down there next to the friends of Radharani, she started glorifying Chandravali, saying, "Oh, my friend Chandravali, she's so nice. She loves Krishna so much. Her prema to Krishna, towards Krishna." And they asked, "Okay, how's your friend?" And then this friend of Chandravali started saying, "Oh, she loves Krishna so much." At the same time, she can have darshan from lotus feet until the head of Krishna at once. Whole darshan. Then all the friends of Chandravali who were there, they started clapping. See, someone is clapping also. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. The Sakhis of Chandravali started clapping, and then people are clapping. Gurudev is like, first understand why you're clapping. Don't clap for everything. Don't clap for anything. You have to think about why you're clapping. You're very innocent. Okay, no problem. You're very naive. Okay, no problem. Anyway, hearing that, they didn't become against. They even agreed. Oh, okay. Oh, your friend Chandravali has so much anuraga attachment for Krishna. Oh, very nice. But hear results. Hear the glories of Srimati Radhika. Our Srimati Radhika, whenever she sees any part of Krishna's body, not even a little bit, her eyes goes out from that limb of Krishna's body. So very nice way of speaking, isn't it? Those who understand will understand. So Chandravali has the darshan of full body from the feet unto the head. So could she have a proper darshan? Means this is not a symbol, sign of the attachment, anuraga, deep attachment. When you have the anuraga means the raga, and then after anuraga, deep attachment. So if Srimati Radhika sees even a part of Krishna's body, she's completely like fixed. She's thinking, "Oh, my friend, how can I describe Krishna's beauty?" Once Srimati Radharani, she met Krishna in the Kunja, and she was coming out of the Kunja. Lalita Devi was standing outside the Kunja. Lalita Devi said, "Radhe, you just came after having darshan of Krishna, so tell something about Krishna's beauty." Then Srimati Radhika started crying. Hey Lalite, until now in my life, I've never ever seen Krishna in my life. Until now, like I haven't even. If I have seen him, if you have seen him, then you describe him to me, please. How is his form? How does he speak? How is his feet? How is his hands? How is his three-band fold form? You tell me. Srimati Radhika started crying. Lalita Devi said, "Hey Radhe, you're mad. You just had his darshan." Then Srimati Radhika said, "Maybe in one life I'll have his darshan." So this is a sign of anuraga. It's impossible to be described. Like in the book of Johnny Lamani, this is all described. Like Prabhuji was saying about Snehaman, Pranaya, Raga, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, then Ruda, Adiruda. So it comes to such a stage, the prema. It's called Javat Ashraya Vritti and Swasambidya Dasha. All the Ashraya Vritti, they get together. And in the Swasambidya Dasha means only you yourself. When you feel that, you'll understand. It's impossible to speak about it. It's impossible to speak with your mouth. How is his beauty? The Goswamis, they wrote, like in a neutral point of view, they described, but actually it's impossible to describe his beauty. His beautiful form, so beautiful form. If once you see the beautiful form of Krishna, like the Kirtan describes, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, next to Keshigat, like it's described how Krishna is next to Keshigat, Tribhangalarit, Tribenfold, how he's so beautiful. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he wrote a music about this in Bengali. Kiba churashire, kiba bamshi kare. He's a cheater. The more that person who laughs so much, he's a cheater. Means when you laugh, you're actually trying to hide what is in your heart. So he's very smiling face. Krishna has a smiling face. But if once he looks at you, finished. It's the end. If you look into his eyes and he looks into your eyes, if once you look into his eyes and he looks into your eyes, that's finished. Everything's finished for you. Never go back. Never come back. What is the fruit of having eyes? Is to see the beautiful face of Krishna. Externally, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, don't go, which means go. Because our senses are always going to different places, to the objects of the senses. Like our eyes, ears, tongue, all of them. They are going to the objects of the senses. For example, the eyes. They want to see the beautiful form. For example, to see a beautiful blossom rose. Your eyes will automatically go to see the beautiful form of the rose. So that's the duty of the eyes. But what is the best form that exists? Is Govinda and his divine abode. Govinda Lilamrita Dham. If once you have the darshan of Govinda, that's it. You won't have desire to see anything else in this world. Bilamangala Thakur, you know his story? Many times we've also described his story, and also Gurudev used to say a lot about him. Thakurji held him by his hand and brought him to Vrindavan and said, I think you're a very big Pandit from South India. Because he took birth in South India in a high-class Brahmin family. So Krishna told, tell me something about Krishna. Bilamangala Thakur at that time asked that boy, what's your name? And Krishna in disguise said, everybody calls me Kana. So what's your job? Like, what do you do? And he said, I graze cows. Do you do something else? Yes. Krishna said, those who are derailing from the path, I take them by hand and bring them in the correct path. That's what I do. So to graze cows and some people who get lost, I put them in the right path. Like some people are in the path of karma again or something, then I hold them by the hand and bring them into the right path. Okay. Tell me some katha about Krishna. Vilamangala Thakur, he was thinking, oh, maybe this is an ordinary cowherd boy. Thakurji was holding him by the hand and taking him. Vilamangala Thakur was describing the beautiful form of Krishna. And for Krishna, that was like nectar to his ears. That's why later on the name of the book became Krishna Karnamrit, the nectar to Krishna's ears. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he went to South India, traveling in South India, 2 books, Mahaprabhu, he collected. One, a book about Tata Siddhanta, which is called Brahma Samhita. Another one, Rasa Siddhanta book, which is called Krishna Karnamrita. This book is unprecedented. Like there's incomparable. I remember Gurudev didn't finish the whole book, but behind the 10 books, Gurudeva used to, like he spoke about them. I remember all. At the time, Gurudev used to teach us all the books. There were not so many people in the temple, right? So he used to go like study each book with us, to teach us each book separately, like one by one. Gurudev used to give classes about the Krishna Karnamrita. So when he came next to the border of Vrindavan, Krishna said, okay, I need to go, my mom is calling me. So he dropped the hand of Bilamangal and left. But at that time, only Bilamangala Thakur realized, oh, you are that Kana. You are Krishna. You can go out from my hands, but you cannot go out from my heart. You're very powerful, huh? But you cannot go from my heart. Bilamangala Thakur, he wrote, the Chogra Ganashtakam. The Ashtakam about the birth eve. In the last verse, he says, you are a cheater. You are cunning. You made me a beggar. I will punish you. Krishna says, Bilamangala, which punishment will you give me? He says, I'll put you in a dark prison. Which dark prison? The dungeon of my heart. But when will you free me from the dungeon of your heart? Then he says, forever. You'll be stuck in the dungeon of my heart forever. You'll never be free. You have to continue there. Beautiful katha. See the beautiful pastimes of the Lord. So these things are not ordinary things. By hearing these Rasa Granthas, these books of the Transcendental Mellows, one day you'll understand. One day you come in that stage. So what is Mahabhav? Jadvat Ashraya Vritti Swasamvedadasha. Only you can understand when you get there. Look, for example, the beautiful description of Thakurji. Example, Surudasa is described. Some people are thinking that Surudasi was pretending. Oh, he's describing Thakurji's beauty because somebody told him about the Thakurji. And then they remove Thakurji's cloth and ask Surudasa, okay, how's Thakurji today? because they thought he actually didn't know. And then he said, no, actually the deity today is naked. Because even though he was blind, he could see the deity transcendentally. He had the divinator, divine eyes. So the Harikatha is going on here, right? Of the Venu-gita. So the gopis are sitting in their houses with their friends, like not all together. Chandravali has her group, Jut. So there's groups, Jut, Gan, like subgroup or group. Samaj means the bigger assembly. So according to the qualification, they meet together and sit together. And they're discussing this Harikatha, Venu-gita Katha. They're expressing their bhavs. So sweet mood. This Venu-gita is so beautiful. The gopis are feeling purvarag. They're manifesting these bhavs from their hearts. And they're always speaking indirectly, parokshabad. Why? Prem is such a thing that the more you hide it, the more it becomes relishable. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the Prem Samput describes it. Krishna himself came as a heavenly damsel, Devangana, female form, came to Srimati Radhika Vrishabhananandini and started asking about Prem. Krishna and these guys came and asked Srimati Radhika. Understand? He said, lover and beloved, they just want to give love to each other, like they don't want to give any pain to each other. I told yesterday about it. When Krishna said, Naparyaham niravada samyujam singh. Krishna said, Gopis, I cannot repay you for your divine love. When Krishna told this verse, Srimati Radhika started crying. Saying, Krishna, even though like you win, actually we lose. Sorry, even though we win, we lose. Because Krishna was like so humble. Krishna saying, oh, even if I had the life of Brahma, still I'll never be able to free myself with the debt I have with you. Because the bhav you have towards me, the mood is incomparable. It's not possible for a woman in this world, like a chess woman, to do that kind of behavior. To have that kind of behavior. Gurudev used to say, this Shastra describes so many glories of chaste women. For example, Arundhati, Anuswa. So many beautiful stories about chaste women in the scriptures are there. But all these chaste women, they are actually praying to the lotus foot dust of Srimati Radhika. Srimati Radhika herself said, hey Shyama Sundar, Prem is such a thing. Prema doesn't want to be. What speak of that? Prema doesn't want to be like bound to each other. If you have a debt with someone, you're gonna be bound to that person. But prema is such a thing. Love. Love is just like birds flying free in the sky. In the sky, the birds flying. Female bird, male bird, flying free. So quickly they're flying. There's no any kind of like bondage. If there's any consideration of debts, there's actually no prem, no love. Srimati Radhika said, Shama Sundar, you tell me. How can you be free from the debts? And then Krishna himself said, so sadhukrita, when I become a sadhu, like a monk, I'll be able to be free from my debts. So Krishna became a monk, like a sannyasi or not? Yes, Gauranga. This lila is so beautiful. how Krishna became a sadhu. And then how there was Jugala Milan, means the meeting of Radha and Krishna. The acharyas describe all that in their books. Swasadu Kritam. What is prem? What is love? It's very hard to understand all these things, but we are hearing about it. Guru Vaishnava are telling us about this is also in the scriptures, but you have to realize it. Srimati Radhika herself said, once we came to Sevakunja with Gurudev in the beginning, long time ago. There was no temple in Vrindavan at that time. We used to come to Vrindavan with Gurudeva. Then we used to do parikrama of Sevakunja and go back. So, until now you can see in the left side there is a tamal tree. The original tree has already disappeared, but they put a new one. And there's the footprints of Krishna and Radharani there. So I remember at that time there was a saint came to Maharaj and told, our Rupa Goswami in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu he wrote a verse, but in a separation mood, Srimati Radhika, she's expressing her bhav to her friends. Srimati Radhika is saying, she's telling her Sakis, Lalita and Vishaka, Lalita Vishake, the separation of Krishna is just like a poison with fever. I'm feeling so much fever. I cannot tolerate. This is all separation mode kata. So we're hearing about Venu-gita, right? This is all viraha kata, is separation mode kata. Srimati Radhika is telling her friends, oh my friends, Sakhi, I will give up my body. So it's written in the Bengali verse. What is it? Certainly I will die. I'll give up my body. Because this fever, the fever of separation is so much. I cannot tolerate this fever. So, but how will I be able to serve Krishna? Who will protect Krishna? Who will take care of him? Who will give love and affection towards him? Then Srimati Radhika said again, you can see in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there's a Sanskrit verse about this, and I'm just telling this Bengali song. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, you know? Srimati Radhika saying, when I give up my body, hey Lalita Vishake, you see the tamal tree? Put my body on the tamal tree, over the tamal tree. Why? Lalita Devi said, hey Radhe, but in Vrindavan there are so many trees. Why do you want to be over the tamal tree? Srimati Radhika said, Tamal Kalu, Krishna Kalu, because tamal tree is black like Krishna. My Pranakanta Govinda, the beloved of my life hair, is also black like the same color as this tree. So they have the similarity of the color. So I believe Purnamasi Devi has said that one day, sooner or later, Krishna will come back. And I have faith that Krishna, he has some special power, like a nectar in his hand. So the hand of Krishna is called like Varadahasta, blessing hands, or Amrit. Amrit Hasta means nectarian hands. So my beloved Govinda, one day he'll put his hand over my dead body, and then I will resurrect, like I will be resurrected by him. Then we'll meet him. I'll meet him. So Shrimati Radhika says this, and then she faints. Many Bengali devotees, they wrote poems about these moods. For example, this one saying that Jamuna river color is black. Jamuna, and everybody drinks the water of the Jamuna and performs Achaman in the Jamuna. And the black cloud also is there. The clouds are also black, but the rain of the cloud actually makes everybody refreshed. So, in separation mood, so much anurag. Shrimati Radhika is feeling and expressing this anurag. After that, Shrimati Radhika faints. Lalita Vishaka, all the sakis. Then they put some water in the face of Shrimati Radhika in her eyes. Then she wakes up from the unconscious state, and when she wakes up, because actually there's no death in the spiritual world, but there's only murcha, which is like fainting. The word in the Javadharma is mrityu, the end of prem. The last stage of prem is also called death, mrityu. But in the explanation, they say that's actually in the spiritual world, it's murcha, fainting. So how the prem manifests starts with nayan priti, like exchange of eyes, and then the end is death. So there are 10 stages in prem. In some Natya Shastra or Rasa Shastra, they say 6 stages of prem. Sometimes they explain one stage. So first, love starts by exchange of eyes, like exchange of eyes. I'm sorry, like exchange of glances. Then you start thinking about the beloved, chintan. Then you become sick, vyadi. Your body becomes weak. There's one stage described. Then you become like crazy, moha, and like illusion, and then in the end you die or faint. In the case of the spiritual world, so Shrimati Radhika faints, and then she again comes back to consciousness, came back to her senses, and then she says, Lalita Vishaka. So she passes out, and then when she comes to her senses again, she says, you should put my dead body to the banks of the Jamuna. And then she asks, please cover my whole body with the sand of the Jamuna and write the name of Krishna on my body. Write the name of Krishna on my body and place a tulsi leaf over my body. There's so many descriptions about these kirtans. So beautiful, all these bhavs. Actually, it's not a big deal to die, but how can I serve Govinda? All the 5 elements of my body, 5 elements, earth, ether, water, air, and fire. How can I serve Govinda with all my elements? This separation mode. Shrimati Radhika is saying the fire of my body should merge with the rays of the sun. And then when in the winter time, when Krishna comes to under the sun rays, maybe I can serve him at that time. Maybe I'll be able to serve him. And the water of my body should merge within the Pavan Sarovar water. And then when Krishna has a bath, takes a bath in the Pavan Sarovar, which is in Nandagaon, at that time, the water of my body will be able to serve Govinda. the soil, the earth of my body, may mix with the soil of the ground of where Krishna walks, and I'll be able to serve him too. The air of my body, should mix with the air of the sky, like of the atmosphere, and I can serve Govinda. How? When Krishna feels hot, it's written. So the friends of Krishna, like if that time I can be in the air, and when they serve Krishna with the tal patra, means the tal leaves they use for fanning Krishna, I can serve him. So all this is describes. This katha is so beautiful. The gopis have Mahabhav. So in the Venu-gita, the gopis are saying what they're saying. Sometimes they criticize, sometimes they praise because of the many different modes. Sometimes they say, see their service, especially in the Venu-gita, they are speaking about sometimes the flute, sometimes praising the flute, sometimes criticizing the flute at the same time. Because it's in the spiritual world. In this world, it's not possible that you can praise someone and at the same time criticize. Or sometimes by criticizing, actually, you are praising, or by praising, you are criticizing. But in the spiritual world, this is so beautiful. The gopi say, Srimati Radhika herself is saying, oh my Saki, look, see the beautiful good fortune of the flute. The flute has appeared from which dynasty? From the bamboos. The bamboos, generally, they are very like simple, like just straight, and they are empty, like hollow inside. So first the gopis are glorifying the flute. Oh, this flute. Why it's on the lips of Govinda? Because of its dynasty. So the dynasty is also important. Those who take birth in a high family, they have also this kind of nature of that family. Like I think yesterday I spoke about, there was a king who got bought two birds. One bird he kept in the front of his palace, and the second bird he kept it next to the back door, or where people go out. The bird which was staying in the front always used to honor the king and speak very gentle words to him. Oh, please come, great Maharaj, please come in, please. And like he used to speak Sanskrit words, the bird, to the king, and the king was very, very happy. Oh, I bought this king. I was good because this bird is very polite. Because we should use our money for good things, of course. Yes, give donation, give food and feed others. Yes. Then when the king was coming to the back door, the other bird was like insulting the king and swearing him. And then the king heard that swearing words of the bird. And then the king actually ordered for that bird to be killed. I wasted my money buying this terrible bird that is swearing at me. Some people have this nature of swearing at others, like insulting all the time. Some people have this kind of nature. So the king ordered someone to kill the bird. But then the bird that was staying in front of the palace said, "No, no, Maharaj, don't do that. That other bird is my brother. Please don't kill him." Why? How come? And then the bird explained, "We actually were born together from, same mother. But one sadhu took me." And the sadhu, that saint, every day used to read the Vedas, speak always sweet and gentle words. So I was imitating him. But my brother, he was taken by some low-class family, low-class person. So in this person's house, always there was so much quarrel and arguments, and everybody like like drunk and calling each other's names and very, 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 how'd say, rude with each other. Gurudev is saying something. Oh, I heard, and I'm also laughing about somebody smokes and starts just like insulting others. Anyway, please forgive my brother Maharaj. Then the bird asked, "Please put my brother now in the assembly of the saints, and maybe he'll be able to speak like me very nicely, be very, polite." So the king took that bird and put that bird in the ashram of the saints. And yes, indeed, that bird started speaking Sanskrit words. The gopis said, "We heard from Purnamasi Devi, we heard." Brahma, they are performing so much hard austerities. What to speak of attaining the nectar of Krishna's mouth? They're lucky they can get his foot dust. Even if the effulgence of Krishna's toenails manifests in the heart of Brahma, he's already like so happy because he's hankering for that all the time. And sometimes doesn't even that come in his heart, not even the effulgence of Krishna's toenails. So Shrimati is saying, the flute is very simple, and took birth in a good family, the bamboos. Those who are simple, they get everything very easily. But those who are like duplicitous, hypocrite, they cannot get anything. So the gopis are glorifying the flute. See, this bamboo, the flute took birth where? Where did it take birth? In the bamboo trees, like in the bamboo. But which bamboo? At the banks of the Jamuna. Understand? Taking this pure water of the Jamuna. Because everything depends on what we eat. That's sure. Depending on what you eat, your mind will be also made accordingly to for example, if you eat onion, garlic, you'll see how nice smell you'll have. Will you have a good smell? No. Bad smell. But if you take this prasad of Varamana Bihari here, you'll see how beautiful. Because that's Thakurji's prasadam. Everything has its own nature and potency. So anyway, the bamboo was taking what? the bamboo was taking the water of the Jamuna. And Govinda also gave association to him, to the flute. Not even for 1 second. Krishna leaves the flute. Sometimes the gopis steal the flute or snatch it. That Kirtan in Hindi says. Beautiful, beautiful. So beautiful bhav in this song. It's a song of Mera Bhai. Radharani de Bansuri de Shrimat Radha saying. What do you need the flute? I need my flute to call the cows. And Shrimat Radha says, but you have your stick. Why do you need the flute? So generally the flute, not even for 1 second, is not like is away from Krishna. Krishna is always with the flutes in his hand. The flute is so great. So first the gopis glorify abundantly the flute, and then gopis say later. But flute, you are actually a dry piece of bamboo and full of holes. So first they praise the flutes, and then later they criticize. Actually, because of the Mahabhav and all the moods, so they feel jealous. They feel envy, and then they glorify the flute. This katha is so beautiful. One Saki says, look, this flute took birth in the bamboo family, right? But the flute is male. Actually, the flute just wants to tease us. Actually, the flute cannot even take a little bit of not even a little bit of Krishna's nectar of his mouth. Actually, the flute only wants to tease us. So sometimes the gopis feel jealousy, sometimes they feel envy and all that. And sometimes they say, no, but look, the flute. The flute actually is sitting on the lotus lips of our beloved Krishna. So the lips of Krishna are just like two big cushions of the throne of the king. The beautiful reddish Krishna lips, lower and upper lips, they are like two cushions. And Govinda is like serving the flute, massaging the feet of the flute. When Krishna moves his fingers, the gopis say, Krishna is massaging the feet of the flute. And then the flute says, I'm feeling hot. And then fan me. And then Krishna, he does. With his eyelids, he's like blinking. And slowly he's fanning. If you fan someone like too fast, then things will just fly away. No, you should be like slowly fanning. Anyway. So sometimes the gopis praise the flute, sometimes criticize the flute. And then one gopi say, foolish, our Damodar Krishna did not take birth holding a flute. So when did Krishna start using the flute? You tell me. Do you know? When did Gopal get the flute in first time? You tell me. For cow grazing? So since he started cow grazing, so before that he didn't have a flute? So before that he didn't have a flute? So when did the flute come in the hand of Krishna? He did not take birth holding the flute. Krishna didn't take birth holding the flute. So when? Tomorrow I'll tell you. Huh? But today is the last day of the Harikatha. When did Krishna get the flute? Somebody said Gopastami. So Gopastami is the day when Krishna started cow grazing. So how old was he? Some people said 5 or 6 years old. So before that, Gopal didn't have a flute? And then Gurudev is asking, but you chant the mantra of Gopal. This verse that describes the beauty of Gopal mentions that he has a Venu, a flute in his hand. So they didn't put Bhajana, they put Gopal here. When they put it on top of the Bhagavatam, they put a Gopal Thakurji. And that Gopal. So why do you put the flute in your Gopal? You only give flute to Krishna when he grows? But there's a secret behind that. When did Krishna Gopal start using the flutes? Did he take birth with the flute, holding the flute? There's a great secret about that. But I'll keep this question for you. You should search in the scriptures. It's not that easy. You search in the scriptures. When you serve Bal Gopal, like those who have Gopal Thakurji, do you put the flute in your Gopal's hand? Tell me yes or no. Yes. But here Raman Bihari is Krishna, like big Krishna. He also has a flute. This, of course, is adolescent, like teenager form, Kishore form of Krishna. Actually, Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they worship which form of Krishna? Which form of Krishna? Shyama Rupam. Like young, teenager. Other Sampradaya worship Bal Gopal, not us. In our Sampradaya, we worship Krishna as a Kishore, means a teenager, not as a baby. Anyway, continuing. Look at our Pranakanta Govinda. How much affection he has for his flute. Wow, such a beautiful form. And the flute is a male. The flute actually is not taking the nectar from Krishna's lips, from our beloved. But something amazing. All in his family, they are very proud of having him. Example, if some great personality comes in your family, you always mention that, and you are so proud. Maybe some special minister is your family, like your relative. Then you tell everyone, oh, he's from my family. But maybe you're not even like related. You don't even like have a relationship with him. You never even saw that, but you tell everyone he's your relative, isn't it? But you have no relationship with him. But still you'll mention that. But amazingly, the gopis are saying the trees, these big trees of Vrindavan, all of the trees, they are feeling so fortunate because they're thinking, oh, the flute, it came in our dynasty, the Vrikshakul means he's also a tree, like bamboo plant. Not only that, even all the lakes of Vrindavan, they're also feeling lucky. Why? Like the Manasi Ganga of Vrindavan and Kusum Sarovar, for example. Because they're thinking, oh, from our water is that the Venu was like raised, like the bamboo was taking that water, right? So the example is given, if in anyone's family a great personality takes birth, everyone of that family, like even the senior of that family, they'll cry thinking about that person who's a great personality that came in the family. So see the good fortune of the fruit. The friend is saying, Sakhi, we may do some austerity also, that we can also get this position of being always relishing the nectar of Krishna's lotus lips, that we may stay always with him like the flute. Krishna is always holding the flute, sometimes in his hand, sometimes in his waist. Not even for 1 second Krishna was without his flute. The gopis want to snatch the flute. I'll tell you a short pastime in between. Once, all the gopis were thinking, the flute is destroying our family. Now we are so like defamed, like criticized. Why? Because of the flute. There's no other reason. So the gopis, they think, may that bamboo that originated the flutes burn in flames. From that bamboo that the flute manifested, all the bamboos of Vrindavan, they should burn. They should burn in the fire, all the bamboos of Vrindavan, all the bamboo forests. Shyamasundar, you are illiterate. You never even went to school or college. You're illiterate. And sometimes you play this flute in the middle of the night. Let us sleep. We've been working the whole day. We're tired. We just want to sleep at night. But then what do? During the night, sometimes midnight, you play the flute. Sometimes in the evening, sometimes lunchtime. Whenever you want, you play. But sometimes, okay, even if you play at night, okay, but why you play so early in the morning? We have to serve our husbands, but then you play and then we go straight away. What is this mystic power is in your flute that's just like dragging us? The sound of the flute drags us away. So the gopis say, let all the bamboo forests burn in the fire. Even there's a saying in Hindi that says, if there's no tree, nobody will play the flute. If there's no bamboo forest, nobody will play the flute. There's even a proverb in Hindi. Applause, clap. So I saw this here and I said, so burn that. Somebody put a flute here and I thought, burn this, because if they give too many people play, and so they brought so many flutes to give away. If everybody plays at the same time, if one flute was enough to like make all the gopis run away. So imagine if everyone plays the flute here. Like they were gonna give like a gift to everyone, like a small flute for everyone. Was there next to Gurudev on the stage. So Gurudev saying, so sometimes envy, sometimes jealousy, sometimes glorifying. If you read the commentary of the Venu-gita, you'll feel so much happiness. What can I tell you? Especially the Venu-gita written by Gurudeva. It's so beautiful. If you read one line and think about it, you just become like quiet, thinking about the bhav and all the Jalilamani Bhaktara Samta Sindhu, Tata Siddhanta, full of everything. You don't need to read anything else. So beautiful, this bhav. Read one verse. So the name Damodar, for example, when did he get this name? The day Mother Jashoda bound Gopal to the grinding mortar. So he became known as Damodar. But there's another Damodar, Radha Damodar. So the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they follow Madhurya Ras. So because of this, Radha Damodar is very special. But look, in Vrindavan, when you go early in the morning, you can see some drops falling from the trees, and the gopis say, this like dew, no, on the trees is actually these forefathers of the flutes took birth as the tree, right? So they're thinking, oh, the flute came in my family, and the flute is always with Krishna. So fortunate. So the trees feel so lucky and fortunate because the flute came in their dynasty. But the gopis are thinking, where did we take birth? Anyway, in the next life, we should take birth as the flutes. So yesterday I also mentioned to you that there are 6 symptoms of Mahabhav. Khanate kalpatam kalpate kanartam. When they are with Krishna, even for a long time, like a day of Brahma, they think it's just a moment. Ta Brahmaratra, when the gopis performed the Rasa Lila with Krishna, was for how many days? For many nights of Brahma, not only one. One night of Brahma, how many billions of years, how many days and nights? One night of Brahma. So they met Krishna in the Rasa Lila for many nights of Brahma. But for them, it felt like a moment. The Bhagavata describes. But even if for an instant they are separate from Krishna, the gopis feel that like thousands of years they are without him. Even the time of blinking the eye, if that moment they are away, like without Krishna, without seeing him, they feel like years and years they are not with him. So this is called Kanarde Kalpatam and Kalpate Kanardam. One moment seems like ages, and ages seems like a moment. Then another symptom of Mahabhav is Titak Joni Prapti Lalsa, means they think, oh, we are women, so we have so many like bondage of society, we cannot meet Krishna. Men, they don't have any bondage, like they can go anywhere and nobody will question them. But if some woman is going everywhere, like anywhere, if a woman is going somewhere, everyone is like looking, where is she going, what's going on? Especially at nights, women always like, people look at women like and question like, where are you going, what are you doing? 1,000 questions. But if a man is going somewhere, no one will ask anything. He can go anywhere he wants, at night even. So the gopis are saying, because we're women, we cannot meet Krishna. So we'll pray to the providence so that in the next life we can take birth not as a woman but as an animal. So the next verse is also so beautiful. Why Vrindavan is so glorious? Why? Because it's the birthplace of Krishna. Between the three worlds, in the three worlds, the Prithvi, Earth planet, is the most fortunate. Why? Because Vrindavana Dham is in the earth, on the earth. If Vrindavana wouldn't be on the earth would have no speciality, nothing. Vrindavan is a Nitya Dham, eternal abode of Lord. It's an unprecedented place. Bhagavan doesn't go anywhere except in Vrindavan. Lord doesn't even give one step out of Vrindavan. Devaki Sutta means Jashoda Nandana. Whenever the gopis call Krishna Devaki Nandan, you should understand, actually they mean Jashoda Nandan. Why? Because according to Harivamsha Puran and Vishnu Puran, the wife of Nanda Maharaj, Jashoda, she had two names. One is Devaki and the other name is Jashoda. One Pandit came to Mahaprabhu and said, "Oh, I've explained in many ways the names of Krishna." Mahaprabhu said, "No need to explain in many ways the name of Krishna. Only know two meanings, Jashodanandana and Shamasundara. This is the explanation of the name of Krishna. Jashodanandana and Shamasundar. But sometimes the gopis are trying to hide their moods. And they also called Krishna Devakinandana. Actually, Shukadeva Goswami, when he said Devakinandan, you should understand that he's talking about Jashodanandan. Because actually, you get all the qualities from your mother. The Shastra says, the qualities of the father go to the daughter. And the mother's qualities go to the son. Shastra describes that. The best qualities of the mother go to the son. You tell me, a mother would has more love for the son or daughter? Tell me honestly. Generally, mother has more love for a son. We shouldn't give differentiation, but it's natural. If you have a son and a daughter, the mother will feed to whom first? To the son, not to the daughter. But you see that father is different. The father will feed first the daughter. This is natural. So all the qualities of the mother go towards the son. So Krishna is known as Jashodanandana. So the gopis, sometimes they're teasing Krishna and they say, what is that verse? When the gopis say, oh, you're not Jashodanandan. In the Gopi Gita, I forgot all the verses. The gopis are saying, actually they're teasing Krishna, saying, oh, you maybe you're not the son of Jashoda, because if you were the son of Jashoda, you would not leave us like this. This is the fourth verse of the Gopi Gita. There are two meanings about this verse. One explains in Dakshina Bhav, submissive mode, and Vamya Bhav, opposite mode. Krishna, if you would be the son of Mother Jashoda, you wouldn't have made us suffer like this. Nakhalo Gopika Nandano Bhavan. Gopika means Jashoda. If you would be the son of Jashoda, you wouldn't be so hard, so cruel. Because the Shastra describes the mother's qualities go to the son, and generally mothers are very compassionate, except Putana, right? Yes, because Putana came in disguise of a mother. But her heart was so hard, cruel. She came to kill that 6-day-old baby. 6-day-old baby. The mother's heart is very soft. You have come in this dynasty. How did you become so harsh? Beautiful verse coming in the Gopi-gita. Why Vrindavan is so blessed? Because it's the divine place of the pastimes of Krishna. So sweet. Everybody wants to go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is my heart. Vrindavan is my life. Where are we going to go if not Vrindavan? Is there any other place to go except Vrindavan? Prabhupada Saraswati Pad. He described beautifully the glories of Vrindavan. The glories of Vrindavan. So he wrote a book, Vrindavana Mahimamrita Granth. He also said, he wrote, if somebody tells me, don't go to Vrindavan, if somebody tells me this, I will cut their throat. Someone who is giving obstacle, like putting obstacle, like for me to go to Vrindavan. Oh, I don't have money to go to Vrindavan. What to do? I would sell my own daughter to go to Vrindavan, he said. This is the nishta. But don't think that like sell your daughter, but it's just showing the nishta of Vrindavan. Towards Vrindavan, you should have this nishta. The topmost place for residence is Vrindavan. And where should you stay in Vrindavan? Radha Adapatta Vrindavanam Vasam Mama Vasam Mamastume. A place where Chandravali cannot enter, only the place which is under the control of Srimati Radhika. Which one? Radha Kund. Brihad Vrindavan. So there is the Panchakrosha Parikrama, which do Parikrama around, like the. But then you have Brihad Vrindavan, which is the great Vrindavan, including Nandagaon, Radhakunda, Shyamakunda. So in the Brihad Vrindavan, where should we stay? In Radhakund. This katha is so pretty. The gopis are saying, how Vrindavan is so beautified, like so embellished, so beautiful. Why Vrindavan is so beautiful? Because of the lotus footprints of Krishna, Jashodanandana. Vrindavan is beautified by the lotus footprints of Krishna. No need to do bhajan. How can you do bhajan? Just remember the lotus feet of Govinda and that's it. No need to do anything else. Go to the market, buy the photo of Krishna's footprints. When you go to sleep, keep that next to your head. That's it. You're gonna get everything. Beautiful katha. The Bhagavata describes the verse from the Bhagavata. Sometimes I say, what is the verse? This is a verse from the Bhagavata. No need to do anything. Only by remembering the footprints of Krishna, all your anarthas will be destroyed. Great saints, by yoga power, they try to control their senses by yoga. For some time, they may be able to control their senses through pranayama, breathing. But again, the desire to enjoy comes in their heart. Like, for example, we heard the story of Sobari Rishi. For 10,000 years, he stayed in Vrindavan, performing austerities. And then he saw the mundane activities of fish, and then lust came in his heart. So yeah, the devotees, they only remember the footprints of Krishna. This sloka describes. All the anarthas from many lives are destroyed by just by thinking about the lotus footprints of Krishna. These beautiful glories of Govinda. No need to do anything. You can keep that. Just keep next to your head on your bed. The footprints of Radha and Krishna. Early in the morning, as soon as you wake up, what should you do? You should have darshan of these footprints. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote. So there's the chakra disc in his footprints, and you see that all your material desires will be destroyed by the chakra. Each symbol has a description. How can you do bhajan? Just do this. So beautiful explanation. So why Vrindavan is so beautiful? When Devaki Nandana, Jashodanandana enters in Vrindavan with his friends, the footprints of Krishna are everywhere. And Brahma and many demigods, they do arati to these footprints. Briddha Patikoi. Briddha means Brahma, Shiva. These great devotees, they perform arati to Krishna's footprints in Vrindavan. Vrindavan is so beautiful. By hearing the sound of the flute, the peacock and the peahen open their feathers, their tail, and become maddened. And in the end, when Krishna plays the flute, they are dancing, and then they're thinking, the peacock and peahen are thinking, Krishna played us a beautiful song with his flute, so we should give donation to him. I'm not saying, just the katha. Okay, what can I give him? Then the peacock decides to give one feather, his own feather. Then Govinda takes that feather of the peacock and puts on his head, because that feather is not ordinary. In the quarrel between the male parrots and female parrots, the female parrot says to the male parrot, like, because first the male parrot says, male parrot starts like this: look how this beautiful peacock feather is on the head of Govinda. And then the sari, the female feather, said, oh, you already spoke too much. Sit down. Hear me out. Hear me out first. Why is Govinda keeping the peacock feather on his head? Because the name of Radharani is written on the peacock feather. Have you seen it? The name of Shrimati Radhika is there. There's no difference between the holy names and Krishna himself. And also, there's no one in the mode of ignorance in Vrindavan. All in the mode of goodness, Sattam. Raghunath Das Goswami wrote this verse, Chat Kinchit. Vrindavan is such a transcendental place. All the animals, all the birds, scorpions, snakes, all of them are favorable to the pastimes of Krishna. There's no one unfavorable. All the insects, all the animals, they help in the meeting of Radha and Krishna. So there's speciality of Manjari Bhava here. The Manjaris, they also want to always make the divine couple meet. That's the speciality of Manjari Seva. Narottam Das Thakur wrote, so the Manjaris, they have more affection for Shrimati Radhika, but their life and soul is the meeting of the divine couple. You should enter the Tata Siddhanta. The Manjari, the Gauriya Vaishnavas, they give emphasis in Manjari Bhav. So in this book, Gurudeva wrote, quoting Ujjal Nilamani, speaking about Bhavla Sarati and Sanchari Bhav. All this is described. The topmost Bhav, it's in Vrindavan. Then the other verse, Dhanyasas Muragatayo. So Maharaj is saying, oh my Sakis. So they were praying in the previous verse to take birth as birds, like the peacock. But now they're speaking about the deer. If we take birth as female deer, we'll be very easily be able to come next to Krishna. And Shukadeva Goswami, he's directly seeing this lila and he's pointing. Etta in Sanskrit is like this. When you see something in front of you and you just indicate, look, this one, look at the state of this female and male deer. So the best speaker of Harikatha is that one who is directly seeing these transcendental things and speaking. So one kind of speaker is that one who is having direct darshan of all these things and just saying. And some people, they heard from Gurudev and they're just repeating. So that's Madhyam speaker, medium, intermediate speaker. Kanishta speaker, they read, but they don't even understand properly and they speak without not understanding properly. So three kinds of speakers of Harikatha. The best one, the Uttam, is the topmost, like Shukadeva Goswami, one who is seeing the pastime and then speaking about it. So that's why he says in this verse etaha, and this commentary explains that etaha in this one means Shukadeva Goswami is directly saying. So he's saying this deer. Shrimati says, look, we pray to the providence that in the next life we want to take birth as female deer. Because by hearing the sound of the flutes, the female deer started running. And her husband, like the deer, said, oh, don't go alone. Take me along. Because the scriptures say when you go to a pious place, you should also bring your husband. Husband and wife should go together. Don't go alone. Husband and wife should go together. The gopis say, but what to speak of our husband coming with us? Just by hearing his names, they already don't like it. Actually, sorry, like gopis are saying the names of their husband are very terrible, show like they are very bad, full of anger or something. But in the case of the female deer, the husband wants to go with her. But in this world, if you go to the temple or something, then the husband say, "Where are you going? Don't come back if you go there." The husband himself is not coming to the temple, but he's telling the wife. He doesn't hear Harikatha. If the wife goes to Harikatha, the husband says, "Don't even come back. Don't even come back." This is this world. But the gopis themselves are saying also. You think I'm talking about you, but actually the gopis they're saying. The name of the gopis husband is, for example, Durmad. Durmad. Durmad means someone very bad and evil. The name itself says this. And the husband is like, "Where are you going? Where are you going?" "Oh, I'm going to the Gauriya Mata." "You don't have nothing else to do? Why are you running behind these Babajis? You don't have nothing else to do? What they are telling you there? What's gonna happen to you after you hear all that? Something you're gonna get." That's why I always give some prashadam so people can come home and say, "Okay, I got this. I got this prashadam at least." At least bring prashadam to them. Prashadam has potency, yes. There's also another katha of Ramanujacharya about this. So he gave that prashadam to that, that businessman. And then received it like that, that guy who ate the prasad of Ramanujacharya, the remnants of Ramanujacharya. And that businessman, he was so evil, the grocer. So he fell at the feet of that devotee, that female devotee, after she gave the remnants of Ramanujacharya. So always give prasad to your husband. The husband doesn't want to take, but just mix in the food and he will not even see. Somehow, you mix the prasadam in the food of your husband. His intelligence will change. Maybe not in this life, but in one life in the future, it will. You see, for example, the wives of Kaliya. They changed the life of Kaliya. Then later, Kaliya realized, oh, yeah, my wives used to tell me about Krishna. I was thinking like Krishna was evil, but now I understand who is actually Krishna. And then Kali understood that Krishna was God and surrendered to him. So that's why I always give prasad and said, "Come to me, I'll give you prasad. Take prasad, take more. Bring to your husband, to your children. Feed this prasad to everyone, and you'll see the results." This is true. This is true. The gopis humbly they are saying, what is the essence of our lives? If you don't do bhajan, there's no benefit in your life. Krishna Sar. Another meaning is that there's one kind of deer called Krishna's heart, like a black deer. Two meanings are there. And the deer come and they sit close to the feet of Krishna, and then Krishna with his blessing hands, Krishna pats on the back of the female and male deer. See, my friend, receiving this touch. See how the heart of the deer melts. Because they're animals. They're only able to tell their feelings with their eyes. Pranayavalokai. So beautiful this bhav, so beautiful. Not only that, okay, but they're animals. But see in the sky, the demigods in Swargalok, hearing the sound of the flutes, the demigods also, they are with their wives in these transcendental chariots, these special chariots. They want to see the rasa dance, but the men were not able to see the rasa dance. But the women, somehow or another, they were able to see Govinda, the lotus feet of Govinda. But something amazing happened. They felt so much prem in their heart, so much prem, that actually they fainted. They passed out in front of their husbands. This verse actually showing that the bhava went very high. What happens to the demigoddesses after prem manifesting their hearts? The sound of the flute is not ordinary. Like yesterday I spoke about Bivamangala Thakur Katha. I told something about Krishna Karnamrit. Sound of the flute manifests. And where does it go? Crosses over this material world and then goes to Swargalok, where the beautiful heavenly damsels are there. And in the Brahma Muhurta early in the morning, they're collecting parijat flowers, plucking parijat flowers, and then they hear the sound of the flute. And all these heavenly damsels, their hands start shaking. And all these parijat flowers that they were holding fall on the earth planet on the head of Krishna. And these heavenly damsels, apsaras, somehow or another, they're able to like hold their clothes together and they just pass out. And then the sound of the flute continues going, goes to Brahmalok, crosses over the universe end, goes to Shivalok, and then to Vaikuntha. But still there, no one there to buy the sound of the flute. If someone is selling something, for example, you must have like people who want to buy, customers, clients. But in Vaikuntha, there's no one who wants to take it. And then the sound of the flute goes to Ayodhya, where Bhagavan Ramachandra is there, Maryada Purushottam. But also no one wants to take it there. That's why Gopakumar himself said, "Hey Brahman of Mathura, when I came to Ayodhya, those monkeys, they disturbed me so much. I was holding the flute, and then the monkeys started snatching the flute from me. They tried to snatch the flute from my hand. I was really disturbed. You can read it in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Then, okay, so the sound of the flute continued further, went to Dwaraka. But there's a mood of wedded love, husband and wife. So the son of the flute also didn't like have any recipient there. And went to Mathura, crossed Mathura, and then continued and came in Vrindavan. This is the beautiful divine transcendental pastime place. So beautiful this bhav. Transcendental world of Prakrita Vrindavana Dham. The sound of the flute. What does the sound of the flute do? Like agitates the heart with divine transcendental lust. Krishna is the young Cupid of Vrindavan, ever fresh young Cupid, and he is worshipped with two mantras, Kama Gayatri and the Bija mantra. Klim and the Gayatri mantra. It's not an ordinary thing. Kama Gayatri has 24 and a half syllables. The Kama Gayatri mantra has 24 and a half syllables. And the mantra is actually limbs of Krishna. The whole mantra is like the form of Krishna. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Pada was thinking, which one is the half syllable? Okay, which one is half syllable? So should be Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita described that the Kama Gayatri has 24 syllables and half, 24.5. So which syllable is the half syllable? Because that syllable should be full. And Vishwanath Chakravarti was thinking what to do. Then Srimati Radhika appeared in front of him and told him, you should search in this specific book, Varnatam Bhasya. This specific word syllable is the half syllable. So you tell me tomorrow. You tell me which syllable relates to which part of body of Krishna. You should know. Like there are 24 and a half syllables in the Kama Gayatri and they relate to different limbs of Krishna. So you should know. So the demigoddesses, they passed out in front of their husbands. And the flowers over there on their hair fell down. I need to finish. I know time is up. The Sakhis are saying, look at the state, the situation of these demigoddesses. But even check what the cows of Vrindavana, what's happening to them when they hear the sound of the flute. The cow generally eats grass, but it's eating the grass, but then the cow just heard the sound of the flute, and then the cow becomes stunned, stops moving. Just like if there's an artist, for example, painting a painting, like the cows become stunned. It looks like an image, like a still, like a painted, like not moving. Even the eyelids of the cow don't blink because their heart melted. But because the heart melts of the cow, then actually there's a stream of tears dropping from their eyes. That cow generally eats grass. So half of the grass is inside the mouth of the cow and half grass outside. And the ear is very tall, the high, because the cow doesn't want to let even little bit of the nectar out. Like the cow wants to relish all that nectar. There's some kind of cows that their ears are like low, so they cannot get this the sound of the foot of Krishna. Anyway, so the cows, they raise their ears, and then the calf is still like drinking milk from the mom cow, and then he's about to drink the milk, but then the sound of the foot comes, and then actually the milk is coming from the other of the cow, but it's just dropping from the mouth of the calf, because the sound of the foot is so powerful like this. But there are more 3-4 shlokas when the gopis, they glorify so much the sound of the flute. They say, oh, not only that, see this, look at the stage of the state of this condition of these birds. So the gopis call each other mother, but actually there's no rasa basha dosh in that. Shukadeva Goswami Pada said, "Hey Maharaj Parikshit, I describe about, now the Sakis are saying about the birds. See the situation, the condition of these birds, and they're so absorbed in the bhav. So they call each other mother. So if you analyze the rasa vichar, some rasas, they are actually friendly with the other rasa, and some are inimical towards the other rasa. Shastra describes this rasa vichar, this conception of the mellows. So Dasya Ras is friend with Vatsalya Ras. But Vatsalya Ras is enemy of Madhurya Ras. Anyway, I'm just giving an introduction. There's not enough time. So in here, one Saki, she's calling each other mother. But because this comes naturally in their mouth, when you're afraid or you're like amazed, and then you say something like this, like mother, it's actually not rasa basadosh. There's nothing against the Madhurya Rasa in this consideration. Oh, my friend, see, look at the condition of these birds. But these birds are not ordinary birds. Who are they? Great munis and rishis, who they manifest as birds in Vrindavan. Why? To be able to see the beautiful form of Krishna. These birds sit on the branches of the tree, very tall trees, because if you sit on a tall place, like high place, you can see everything underneath. So these birds, they go on the top of the trees because they want to see the beautiful form of Krishna, and they go on the top of the trees. And when Krishna plays the flute, when Krishna comes to the 5th note, the birds also sing. But when Krishna from 5th comes to the 7th note, then the birds, they become quiet, just hearing Krishna's flute. Actually, these birds are munis and rishis, great sages. They're not ordinary. They're actually Vyasa, Narada, and others, great rishis who are in Vrindavan, sometimes taking birth as tree, some as bird. Few people know the glory of the trees of Vrindavan, and they're actually always speaking Radhe Radhe. These trees are not ordinary. They're all chanting Radhe Radhe. Some people say, why do you chant Radhe Radhe in Vrindavan? Because in Vrindavan you have to glorify Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radharani. Because you should always glorify that person who is feeding you. True or not? Otherwise you'll be called like ungrateful or someone who is spitting in the plate where you eat. If somebody gives you something, you have to always glorify that person. Maybe it's true or not, but you have to say it was really nice and you must praise that person who gave you things. But there's one place where people always will swear at you. Sorry, I couldn't understand exactly where. Something about the wedding. Even if you feed him, I think Gurudev is talking about marriage ceremonies or something. Something about the wedding, like means even if you feed that person, treat him very well, he will always see some fault in you or something. Anyway, so in this situation, people like criticize, but generally, you should always praise somebody who has fed you. So if you go to Vrindavan, you should always say Radhe, 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 Radhe. Who is the Sethani of Vrindavan? Who is the Seth, the boss or the rich man of Vrindavan? Is Krishna, but his wife, like the controller of everything, is actually Shrimati Radharani. Wife means like whoever is like actually the partner who is in charge. So some people say, chant Radhe Radhe and you're going to get Shyam. Radhe Radhe Shyam Milade. But Gaudiya Vaishnavas don't want this to meet Shyam. That's why they say Radhe Radhe. No. We want Krishna. We want Radharani. We want to meet Radharani. We want that Krishna cry. We want that Krishna will cry. Our Swamini Shrimati Radhika. She's our mistress. So the husband, the rich man, the Seth, makes money and gives to his wife, the Sethani, the boss's wife or something. And then she keeps that money in the chest, like in the safe, and she keeps the key, like, so you can go straight to the wife of the rich man, like Sethani, because she has the key of the money of her husband. So you just say, like, you go straight to Radharani, right? So if you go to Vrindavan, chant Radhe Radhe. Some people say, why you say Radhe Radhe in Vrindavan? Yes, of course. So go stay with those who chant Radhe, Krishna Krishna or here or whatever, but in Vrindavan, Radhe Radhe everywhere. Prem se kaho Radhe Radhe Radhe. So when you go to Varshana, the name of the temple in Varshana is Larli Maharaj. Have you seen the name? Should be Maharani, right? The queen. But the name of the temple in Varshana, the Radharani temple is Larli Maharaj, not Maharani. Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radhika. Very beautiful. So the gopis are saying, we are women, so we are unable to meet Krishna. So they're hankering to take birth as animals. This is the stage of Mahabhav. And then they say about the condition of the rivers. It's even higher even. Look at the condition of these rivers of Vrindavan. Hearing the sound of the flutes, the water is not flowing anymore. Because the water of the Jamuna doesn't want to leave Krishna's lotus feet. So then a whirlpool starts happening like in the water. And finally, Jamuna is thinking, oh, Krishna is not looking at me. And then the Jamuna takes a lotus flower and gives us like a gift to Govinda, and Govinda becomes pleased. It's beautiful. So many confidential things are behind that. Complete description of Shringaras is there. This verse, there's a full Shringaras Katha. In the commentaries, they they explain like Ujjwani Lamani descriptions in the commentary of this verse of how the Jamun is giving lotus flower to Krishna. But okay, how to get that? We need to do sadhana. So the goal established, but how to get the sadhana? How to do the sadhana, the process to attain it? So without sadhana, we can never attain the sadhya, the goal. What is the way of attaining? So that the gopis say about the Pulinda ladies. Shrimati Radhika herself, early in the morning, after meeting Krishna, Shrimati Radhika comes out, and the grass is there with some dew, like some drops of water. And that kumkum of meeting Krishna. So these Pulinda ladies, they see this kumkum on the grass and they take that kumkum and they put on their chest, on their face. So much bhav they have. The Shastra says, if you don't associate with the Nitya Siddha gopis, you can never attain this bhav. So this Pulinda ladies, Pulinda women, so when the gopis came to the forest to see Krishna, to meet Krishna, so this Pulinda live in the forest. It's called Pulinda ladies. So they used to take beautiful flowers and fruits and give it to Shrimati Radhika and the gopis. And Shrimati Radhika and the gopis, they used to serve Krishna with these flowers and fruits, making garlands and giving to Krishna. So they got Sukriti, these Pulinda ladies. So because of this Sukriti, Shrimati Radhika and the Sakis would tell also Harikatha to these Pulinda ladies. And because of that, these Pulinda ladies developed Prem. So 3 reasons for Prema manifesting in Pulinda ladies. Sorry, in general. First, Shravana Jata Prem, when you hear about Krishna, and then Prem manifests. Darshan Jata Prem, you see Krishna and Prema manifests. So if you hear Harikatha being absorbed, then Radharani will come in front of you and do everything. She'll give you. There are many examples about this. There's so much power in hearing Harikatha. But you must hear with faith, thinking, how can I attain? No need to do anything. Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu describes, one lady went to the assembly of the saints. She didn't even know what the sadhu was saying, nothing. She didn't know Tattva Siddhanta, nothing. She just sat down. And in the end, that sadhu said, if somebody wants to attain the bhava of Shrimati Radhika, you just must see Radharani as your friend, Saki. And that's it. Hearing this impressed that lady's mind. On the day of Ekadasi, she was thinking, I am the Saki of Shrimati Radhika. And in her mind, she was like holding the neck of Shrimati Radhika and dancing, like spinning, swirling. And after that, she became a Saki of Shrimati Radhika. But she was absorbed, really. If you're not absorbed completely, then that's Sahajiya Bhav. The main thing of hearing Harikatha is how to absorb yourself. If you're not absorbed, then you cannot get the fruit. So at least the samskara should come in you. The samskara will make you develop. This is very powerful. Bhagavad Gita is so powerful, so powerful. Just like transcendental power, just like money mantra or shad, like herbs, mantras, and crystals. Logic will not take you anywhere if you're like asking, how possible, how possible, how possible? That person is doing bhajan for many years, nothing happened to him. How come something's happening to you? No, you cannot like argue. Who knows who will get the mercy of Bhagavan? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself had the darshan of Jagannath. Have you been to Jagannath Puri temple? Mahaprabhu used to be in the back. He was very tall. Mahaprabhu's body was so long, and he used to see Jagannath from the back. And there was like an Aboriginal lady that there was so many people in front of her, and so she couldn't have the proper darshan of Jagannath. So what did she do? She just wanted to see darshan. She just wanted to have darshan of Jagannath, and she was so absorbed and eager. So she actually started climbing on Mahaprabhu's body, because Mahaprabhu was like raising one arm, and then she was thinking it was just like a stair or something. This lady, like Aboriginal, so she's with one foot she climbed on Mahaprabhu's hand, and the other foot she actually put on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu. She imagined she was climbing, standing on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu, and she had darshan of Jagannath, like climbing on the shoulder of Mahaprabhu. And she was so absorbed. She didn't even think it was Mahaprabhu. She was thinking it was like stair or something. Somebody saw and said, "Hey, this is Mahaprabhu." But she was so absorbed in the darshan. Mahaprabhu said, don't disturb her. Don't disturb her darshan of Bhagavan. See how absorbed she is. She didn't even realize that Mahaprabhu was like a human being. She was just thinking of some place that I can just climb upon to see Jagannath. So you should also hear Harikatha like that. The most important thing is Raganuga Bhakti is to be absorbed. If you're absorbed, then you can get right now. There's no doubt. You can get right now. Some Gyanis, they'll speak many verses, but that person who doesn't know anything can easily attain Bhagavan. So that's the meaning of hearing Harikatha and speaking Harikatha, that our mind may be absorbed in Lord. So let's do Kirtan, Arati, and then Prashad, 9:30 already. Just wait for 1 minute. Just 1 minute more, wait. So they made these beautiful arrangements of this program. So they should also speak 5 minutes whoever arranged this festival.
जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय, श्री श्री राधा रमन बिहारी जी की जय, समस्त भक्त वृंद की जय, वेणु गीत की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय। जैसे आज ये 3 दिन,
So today for 3 days, there's this beautiful arrangement of speaking Venu-gita here. All of you have heard Venu-gita. Thank you for everyone. Especially thank you to Srila Gurudev. Gurudev gave his valuable time, and he's giving this amazing Harikatha, who no one in the past or in the future has spoken this kind of Harikatha. Please, everybody sit down for 2 minutes. Gudu Arati now.
रहस्यमयी कथाएं
This
अगर
Rasamai
हमें अपने
Katha.
जीवन में श्रवण करने को
Oh, they stopped the broadcast. They stopped the broadcast. Oh, Jai Shri Gurudeva ki jai. Venu-gita ki jai.